For thousands of generations, our ancestors carried fire like a sacred treasure, passed from camp to camp, never letting it die. To lose the flame meant darkness, cold, and death. Every guardian knew this burden. But nature is unforgiving. Storms came without warning in the ancient world. And in one terrible moment, humanity's most precious gift was lost. Desperation drives innovation. What seems like mindless anger might be the birth of an idea. Sometimes the greatest discoveries come from our darkest moments. This spark would change everything. Fire had always been a gift from the sky, stolen from lightning strikes. Could humans actually create it themselves? Knowledge, once discovered, spreads like wildfire itself. Everyone wanted to hold this power in their own hands. For the first time, fire was not something to be feared losing. It was something that could always be reborn. The old ways died with that extinguished branch. A new chapter of human history had begun with a single spark. Free from the tyranny of keeping flames alive, our ancestors could travel further, explore more, dare to go where no fire had been before. Fire on demand meant new hunting strategies. Predators became prey when humans brought light into the darkness. With reliable fire came the courage to explore the deepest caves, where they found messages from their own ancestors. Even the mighty cave bear, terror of the Stone Age, learned to fear humans who could summon fire at will. What began as accident became technique, then tradition. Fire-making transformed from miracle to skill taught to every generation. This single discovery would spread across continents, carried not as flame, but as knowledge. The Fire Age had truly begun. Fire brought more than warmth and light. It brought technology, harder spears, better tools, new ways to shape their world. Cooked food meant more calories, less disease. For the first time, even the old and weak could eat and grow strong again. With warmth through the cold nights, communities grew stronger. Fire bound families together against the dark. Fire-making became currency, traded between groups like precious stones. Knowledge became power, and power built alliances. Storms that once brought death now brought only delay. Nature's fury had lost its greatest weapon against humanity. Within a single lifetime, what was miraculous became mundane. Generations grew up never knowing a world without fire on demand. The greatest revolution was not the fire itself, but the death of fear. Security replaced scarcity in the human mind. The hunted became hunters. Darkness, humanity's ancient enemy, became their domain. The nocturnal world was theirs to claim. Fire was not one discovery, but 1,000. Each flame lit sparked new ideas, new possibilities, new futures. The man who discovered fire lived to see his accident become humanity's legacy. His spark would outlive him by 1,000,000 years. Shared flame meant shared life. Around the fire, cooperation replaced competition. From firelight came language. Gestures turned to meaning, sound into thought. With rhythm and movement, unity was born, the first celebration of survival. Fire taught patience, and patience became wisdom passed from one to another. Protection of the flame meant protection of the tribe. Safety had a center now. With fire, they shaped the land itself, the first hint of mastery over nature. Symbols followed sound. Memory began to take form beyond the mind. And beneath the same stars we know today, they found something new: belonging. Driven by hunger and heat, they began to move, following the herds into the unknown. Rivers no longer stopped them. Fire traveled in pouches, not branches. They climbed higher than ever before, chasing smoke on distant horizons. Each night, the flame marked their place in the vast world, a signal of presence and persistence. Through mist and silence, they learned patience, to read the land, to wait for the world to reveal itself. They no longer fled the seasons. They endured them, shaping life around the rhythm of flame and rain. Fire became a weapon of thought, shaping herds, reshaping the land itself. From the height of stone and fire, they saw the world was wide, and that it was theirs to walk. They learned the stone could change, harder, sharper, reborn through fire. From earth and flame, the first vessels took form, by chance and by curiosity. Fire shaped not only stone, it softened wood, it made bone serve the hand. Here began the first workshop, where skill met flame and work became craft. Each hand found its purpose, and the tribe's work grew stronger through many minds. With fire, they learned to keep what life gave, to store warmth, to save hunger for another day. Work became rhythm, and rhythm became order, a new kind of harmony born from flame. They had made tools, but in truth it was the fire that shaped them. They began to honor the flame, not to own it, but to keep it alive. They began to see themselves reflected in the flame. They read the wind, the smoke, the silence, the language of fire and air. In pain, they found mastery, the cost of command over the flame. Above and below, light burned the same, in the stars, in the fire in them. They cleansed the stones as if to cleanse themselves, renewal through the flame. From one hand to another, the flame was passed, and with it, responsibility. The fire was alive, and so were they, for the first time aware of it. The wind turned their ally against them. The fire began to wander. They fled the light that once gave them safety, chased now by their own creation. They watched their world burn, powerless before the force they had awoken. In the morning came silence. Only the breath of smoke remained. From ruin she lifted what was left, a memory turned to stone. They built again, smaller, wiser, the flame now bound by care. They learned that fire was not owned, but it was borrowed. In the ashes, wisdom grew. They began to teach what once was chance, passing on the secret of control. old and young, each guarding their flame, the past watching over the future. They kept watch through the night, the first guardians of light against the dark. They gave fire rules, and by doing so, gave order to their world. In the reflection of flame, they saw one another, bound by its light. Morning came without fear, smoke marking peace, not ruin. In guarding the flame, they learned to guard each other. The elder sat before the fire that had outlived storms, hunger, and fear. For the first time, they slept unafraid, the flame watching over them. He touched the ashes as one touches memory, the warmth of what has been. His breath joined the smoke, the living and the fire sharing one rhythm. He gave not a tool but a memory, the weight of knowing. In his small hands, the flame found its future. The keeper of fire rested, but the flame did not. They had turned danger into light. In the glow of fire, humanity began.